Hello and welcome back to a brand new video. So today we are actually here for some DayZ Experimental. Now, the reason why I thought about doing DayZ Experimental over anything else is because obviously it's upcoming content. It's content that's going to release eventually for the main game. Now, I do actually have some patch notes here, or more of the notes for the game itself and what it's actually done, what it's updated. So what it basically says here is that all of this update is for the Sahkal map, which we are currently on. It's updated loot sources, so we now have more tiny, small, little areas where it's basically going to guarantee you to have something of worth, something of note. So what it says here, the Aniva city has been expanded. Baikovo hamlet has been turned into a village, and other smaller locations have been added along the eastern coast, which obviously for us, in general, which is definitely better for the player that does actually log on to the Sahkal server, to the Sahkal map. Finding smaller areas to gather loot is basically essential because it's very difficult to survive on this. Now, as you can see at the bottom right corner, I am cold. I'm in fact freezing. Being able to find smaller areas to just gather little bits of loot that will help you, maybe some heat packs, maybe something to keep you well insulated, are absolutely essential. So the main island of Sahkal has been populated with small broken down houses, so you can basically have the smaller loot opportunities, like I said, to find yourself something that will actually make a difference to your character. Like, I think finding like a insulated top, heat packs as well, like absolutely massive in this. You can hear me, you can hear my teeth chatter because I'm that cold, which is actually really weird. So the navigation of the vast sea ice plains have been simplified thanks to the addition of buoys and small military outposts, which can be found on small islands, primarily around the island of Burakan. Now, I don't actually have a map to show you the island of Burakan. I'll probably end up putting something up on the screen as of now, so you can see what the island of Burakan is and what the mean by around it. So there's actually been a small deforestation, which is around Burakan Island to make it a little bit more dangerous for you, which is mad considering how hard this map actually is to survive on. So apparently there's a static outdoor thermometer that added to Sahkal, so players can now understand why their player is freezing even when the weather appears sunny. That's actually mental. And then they've also added a POI on the island of Shantar and coupled it with some quote-unquote simple game mechanics. So the new teeth shattering or chattering like thing is actually brand new to the 1.27 experimental. So it's the first time that I've ever heard it, and I think that's actually a really cool feature, that you can hear your teeth chattering just because of how cold you are. So what we actually need here really is insulated items. So obviously you've got your heat packs, which will genuinely help massively, but there is insulated items on this that you can like gain heat and warmth with quite quick. So what they've actually added as well, I don't know if you can hear it, but I'll try and be quiet for a moment, so you can hear branches snapping. Added that, so like, because the trees are so plentiful on Sahkal, when you're going to be able to hear people walking behind you because of the trees and branches snapping, which obviously they've added to hopefully basically juice up the PvP engagements on the game, which I think is a very, very cool feature. I think that is actually quite fantastic. What they've essentially done to this, like with this update, is they've made minor quality of life changes that make this map much more interesting to play, but also they've made it just as difficult. Like, I think this map is by far the hardest to survive on. Once you know how to survive, you're pretty much okay, because all you need to do really is make yourself some hand drill kits and make yourself some like craftable fireplaces. That's all you need. You can cook your food, defrost your food, stuff like that. But it's until that point is where it becomes so difficult and so interesting, because as you can hear, right, and as you can see, I've got 2 heat packs, I'm freezing, I've got no food, I have food on me but it's frozen. I would need to like defrost it, but I can't because I don't have a weapon to defrost it with, and in general it's so good, so fun to play this map. I think it's genuinely like, this is the DayZ experience of playing this map. And I think with this experimental as well, they've added a good, decent few quality of life changes that will make this map, like, just that much more challenging to play. I'm dying, I'm starving, but I've got absolutely nothing that I can do, simply because I have no tools, no way to be able to gather more things, like, literally, I've got hand drill kit. I can make a fire, but I have to be able to gather all the other bits to make a fire. No, I can't. Obviously, we've showed you the teeth chattering. You can hear that. You've heard the branches. Obviously, I've showed you as much as I possibly can about the POIs, how you can just find a couple of more things along the way that will actually make a difference. So I just want to make sure that I've covered everything. So obviously fish. You can get food poisoning and bloody hands behind fish. Highly recommended to still wash your hands before eating. Food poisoning has been reworked to reflect different types and quantities of food. Okay, and it'll no longer decay on its own, rather as slowly disappear as the player battles symptoms. That's actually quite good. We've got, so you can now bandage multiple bleeds at the exact same time. That's quite good. That's a definite decent feature that they've got to the game. And so like more domestic animals are more likely to run away. So now they've made fishing longer and less effective, which will definitely help, because I think survival, when you know how to survive, it gets very easy. And other than that, I've pretty much covered everything on a experimental. So I think without further ado, because we're definitely gonna die, I think that is all from me. All right, thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment, all those good things down below. I will try and cover more experimental things going on in the future. But other than that, I'm just going to stick to basically modded and the official servers. That being said, it's all from me. As always, my friends, sweet.